Into overtime on 1620 The Zone. Shock the system. Welcome to the After Hours Lounge on 1620 The Zone, the 1620 The Zone app, and 1620thezone.com. When 6A to 6P isn't enough, the boys have you covered. Here's Jimmy Allen and John Schreiner.
Happy Taste Test Tuesday, everybody. Welcome inside the After Hours Lounge, brought to you by Bellevue University. If you're looking to keep up to date on all of the championship action happening on Bellevue's campus, download the B Bruins app to your smartphone tonight. Jimmy Allen in tonight. No John Schreiner. He's at home with his family. They are a little under the weather. Hopefully the Schreiner clan is feeling a little bit better after tonight. Dan Campen is here. Noah Houston is behind him. You can join the show anytime, 402-951-1620. Get at the show at After Hours 1620 as well. It is a Taste Test Tuesday, and it's also the start of the Mardi Gras season. There's Carnival happening at our friends at Pasta Amore's restaurant tonight.
Get me a king cake.
There's a special menu out tonight at Pasta Amore as well. A ton of great stuff on the menu if you're looking for a date night experience or to start off the Mardi Gras season the right way. Stop by Rockbrook Village tonight. We got a great show lined up for you. Bob Williams of Williams Law is going to join us. Athletes dealing with lawsuits, what rights do they have to participate in said sports? We'll debate that at 6:15. At 6:30, we'll talk about the path. What is it's not really the path anymore. What does Creighton have left to play for? How does Nebraska improve the number next to their name on Selection Sunday? We'll get into all that. Speaking of Selection Sunday, we will also break down bracketology. It's out from ESPN today. We'll give you our thoughts on that. I have a pick for who's going to be number one in the country, and it's not the team that is currently unanimously picked to be number one. I'll tell you who that is at 6:30. And again,
DePaul?
Famously, let's. I'm a big Chicago fan. No, it is not the Blue Demons. It is a team from the Big East, though. Spoiler alert. So we'll talk about that and more. Don't forget to follow along on anything we're doing on the night shift tonight. Punch in for the night shift on YouTube. Leave us a comment on anything we're talking about to change the topic, to engage in the conversation, or give us a funny comment. We'll probably read it on air as long as it's appropriate. We appreciate everybody joining us and making us a part of your evening tonight on 1620 The Zone. It's time, Dan. It is time.
It's time
for me to start being positive about Nebraska's football season next year. And I know a lot of people, the majority of the folks out there, really down on this team and don't have a lot of positive vibes around the program in Lincoln right now. With that being said, you'll remember the last 2 years, Dan, I have said publicly that I will not be as bullish as I can be on this team until they make improvements on the offensive and defensive line. I spent a lot of time today watching Tree Babalade highlights, as well as Braden Black and Paul Mbonge. And I feel comfortable in saying, looking across that starting five, when you throw Justin Evans in the middle, Pritchett at the end on the other tackle spot, you could argue that's the best five Nebraska's had in the last 8 to 10 years. Now,
from an offensive
line standpoint, yeah. Now, you obviously have to have the running backs behind them, and Anthony Colandrea has got to be the Anthony Colandrea from UNLV, if not better, more so than he was the Anthony Colandrea from Virginia.
I would argue that he needs to be better, just bar none, flat across the board.
But I feel really good. I feel better about Nebraska's running game situation now with those three guys added to the equation and no change at running back, maybe than I did a few weeks ago. Like, you could see the finished product and where they're going, right? And when you go out and you get a Jeep Wade to coach this team, this offensive line, you throw an Anthony Colandrea into the conversation, you start to see the mesh, right? You're like, okay, Tree could play offensive tackle, but he can get to the second level really well. Braden Black can run block really well, but there's a little bit of question about his pass blocking. But you could see, if you couple Dana Holgerson's abilities and the way listen, it's going to be a lot on the play caller to have this mesh concept work in unison with what Jeep Wade likes to do and what Anthony Colandrea can do from a complementing style, is rolling the pocket, getting him on the run, using his running ability, but also you got to have those offensive linemen be able to climb to the second level. And I think those five guys that we just talked about specifically are maybe the best combination of 5 guys that Nebraska's had that can get to the second level and block in the running game. And again, if you do have some deficiencies in the pass blocking game, which Nebraska's had for the last 37,000 years now, if you have the ability to move the pocket or get athletes out in space to slow the pass rush down, I think that'll go a long, long way. Now, when you flip to the other side, Joshua Whittington, the transfer for Pitt, was the top inside defensive tackle in the state of Pennsylvania the year he came out. He had 24 tackles for loss in his senior year of high school. He obviously played at Pitt. But for him, it's more about his body type in Rob Orrich's system. 6 foot, 270 pounds. He's probably going to put on a little bit more weight when he gets to Nebraska. And just a guy that could play a 2-gap system. And he really seems to me as the perfect fit for the style of defense. Now, they're putting a lot of faith in Owen Stoudemire to, I don't want to say be the answer, but to be a little bit better, more of a contributor. And I didn't love what I saw from him from Boston College, but I think if you compliment him, again, I think maybe more so than in the past, the guys that are being brought into the transfer portal for this Nebraska team are to complement the coaches or complement the guys around them. And listen, I think Joshua Whittington has the ability to be a major impact player next year. But Owen Stoudemire is really where I have my question marks at. I think he can be a nice piece. I don't think he can be the focal point in which they want him to be. Now, you put around him a Williams Nwaneri, a Cam Lenhart, a Cade Petchak, a Riley Van Poppel. Then we're talking about a level of depth that we haven't seen in Nebraska on the defensive line in a long, long time. Now, you've also got to get those guys to hold up. You've also got to get you've also got to see some productivity out of those guys that was lacking from a year ago. But I think a lot of it's maybe more specifically than anybody, Cam Lenhart kind of felt like a square peg in a round hole last season. And if he could return to his freshman form, which was a freshman All-American campaign, least we forget, having 2 guys inside of him, I think frees him up a little bit more. And I'm going to be really interested to see how these linebackers freely move with just 2 guys on the field with 5 guys behind them too, right? I think it's a really interesting concept. But with that being said, I feel a lot better about Nebraska's offense and defensive line than I did a year ago. I think they did a good job of answering some question marks on both sides. I think Justin Evans showed you that he has the ability to be a really, really good centerpiece, pun intended there. And you could build around him. And the one thing that can answer the questions about the lack of running back depth or who the number one guy is putting some pretty steady dudes in front of him to block for him. And
yeah,
I think that's what Nebraska has done here. And there's also the guys in front of those 5 guys that we mentioned, or behind those guys that have been sitting and waiting in the wings for a few years now, the Grant Brickses of the world, that you still have faith in, the Sam Sledges of the world that you feel have the ability to contribute and just need the time to get caught up to the Big Ten and college football speed. Now, have they done that? That's obviously going to be a wait and see thing. But if you're worried about what it's going to look like at running back next year, I think you're going to feel a lot better about it once those 5 guys step onto the field at offensive line for Nebraska. And I'm not willing to say that next season is going to go as far as Anthony Colandrea takes Nebraska, because I just think that's such a bold statement to make when you haven't seen the guy take a snap in this program. But if his personality can be infectious around him, how many times have we seen a Nebraska team just not look confident and fold at the end of a game? And sometimes it's been a direct result of the body language of the guy playing quarterback. I don't think that's a problem you're going to have next year. Even if Anthony Colandrea comes out next year in the first game and throws 3 interceptions, I don't expect him to lose his swagger. I really don't. I think he's a guy that is just built different mentally. I mean, even when things were going well at Virginia, he kind of had a little bit of a swagger about him, and I think that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. I don't think that'll have that effect on Nebraska fans, because when you talk about a vocal leader in the Matt Rule era, the guy that you point at and say, that's the leader. On defense, you could throw in maybe Ty and Nash, but I don't think either one of those guys from a vocal standpoint really jumped out at you. It was more the coaches around them, right? Like Porkchop and Tony White and those guys.
Well, so there's a lot to be said about the leadership of Ty and Nash, because they weren't vocal, but they led by example.
Sure.
because they were the two guys in the middle who were the most seasoned on that defense.
I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be pretty readily apparent who the vocal leader in that locker room is next year. It's going to be the quarterback. And
yes, it will be.
And I will be really surprised if we don't see that trickle down to not even just his side of the ball, which there's really been like this weird thing in Lincoln since Matt Rule got here, even despite, maybe it's because of this, how many different coordinators there have been, but like the offense and the defense always just kind of seemed yin and yang to each other. There never just seemed to be this cohesive team unit, and everybody kind of seemed to do their own thing. And you got to wonder how much that has to do with the changes at coordinator and how many times and those positions have changed. But I really think that next year this is going to look like a more buttoned up product. And if it doesn't,
we're going to have a problem.
Well, pretty good chance we have a coaches search as well. We're going to talk about athletes and their rights when they're facing a lawsuit, whether it be a violent or nonviolent crime, with Bob Williams of Williams Law. When we come back, if you missed our opening segment, you want to drink a little bit of Kool-Aid with me, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Aloe Fiber. From Nebraska neighborhoods across our state, it's clear there is no place like Nebraska. Just like so many of us, Aloe calls Nebraska home. Born and raised right here in the Cornhusker State, sharing proud traditions of agriculture, athletics, education, and community. And just like on game day, traditions bring us together. Aloe Fibers bring us together, connection by connection. Aloe is the official internet, TV, and mobile provider of the Huskers. Get out of the Stone Age and head over to aloefiber.com/Husker Radio and sign up for services today. Bob Williams of Williams Law. We come back at 1620 Zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. Just a few home games left in Lincoln, a few home games left in Omaha. And if you want to be the best dressed, J-Sker, head over to Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. They've got the best in lineup from Johnny O, Peter Millar, Mizzen and Main, Cutter and Buck, Brax Pants, and the all-new Horn Legend hoodies. Head over to Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. They've been dressing after hours for 3 years. They've been dressing Omaha for over 50.
Weather from KETV Newswatch 7 is brought to you on 1620 The Zone by Certified Transmission.
Watching out for a shower or thunder shower this evening with very gusty winds, then clearing skies later tonight and a low temperature in the low 40s. Mostly sunny and still pretty warm Wednesday, a high in the mid-60s, and then a snow chance in the forecast for Thursday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV Newswatch 7.
Diet Coke Cherry is making a return, and Chesterman Coca-Cola is bringing the flavor back to Omaha. Find Diet Coke Cherry 12-packs right now at Hy-Vee, stacked high on pallet displays and end caps. Just in time for the big show. That crisp Diet Coke taste with a bold cherry twist. Perfect for game night, family night, or anytime you want something refreshing without the sugar. But don't wait. This is a Hy-Vee customer favorite, so get yours today.
Winter may slow pests down, but it's the perfect time to prepare your home for spring. Rodents, spiders, and other pests often show up indoors this time of year. A winter pest control checkup helps seal entry points now so you're not dealing with pests when warmer weather hits. At Recon Pest Services, we're proud to be a local company and supporting causes that make Omaha better. If you're looking for a pest control partner or even support for a cause, think Recon. Visit reconpestservices.com and get your home ready for a pest-free spring.
My name's Stephen Butler, and I own Controlled Comfort. And we've been in business for 6 decades. And in those 6 decades, I like to think that everything we do is about the art of comfort. It's about the skill of our people, but it's also about the integrity, because at the end of the day, I value my employees, so they value you. And that's really all this is about. If you get cold this winter, think about us. We'll come help you out. We'll try to find it to be fair, it'll be fast, and it'll be the right price.
Controlled Comfort keeps it under control.
At Timber, they don't just give you a place to go for lunch or dinner. They give you an experience. From their bold, smoky flavors prepared in the open concept kitchen where you get to watch the magic happen, to the relaxing umbrella-shaded patio. There's something for everyone at Timber. Join them for brunch every Saturday and Sunday from 9:30 to 2, plus happy hour from 2 to 5:30 Monday through Saturday, and 2 to close on Sunday. Timberwood Fire Bistro in the heart of Omaha at 84th and Pacific.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future, So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
My uncontrollable movements, called TD, tardive dyskinesia, felt embarrassing. I felt like disconnecting. I asked my doctor about treating my TD and learned about Ingrezza, valbenazine capsules, a prescription medicine clinically proven for reducing TD in adults. That's always one capsule, once daily, and number one prescribed. People taking Ingrezza can stay on most mental health meds.
Ingrezza can cause depression, suicidal thoughts, or actions in patients with Huntington's disease. Call your doctor if you become depressed, have sudden behavior or mood changes, or suicidal thoughts. Don't take Ingrezza if allergic. Serious side effects may include allergic reactions like sudden, potentially fatal swelling and hives, sleepiness, the most common side effect, and heart rhythm problems. Know how Ingrezza affects you before operating a car or dangerous machinery. Report fever, stiff muscles, or problems thinking, as these might be life-threatening. Shaking, stiffness, drooling, and trouble with moving or balance may occur.
Take control by asking your doctor about Ingrezza.
Learn more at Ingrezza.com. That's INGREZZA.com.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
.618 on a Taste Test Tuesday on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Bellevue University. Head over to bellevue.edu. Register for classes if you're looking for the ideal college experience this fall. No classes on Friday. Majority of your schooling done online and live sports right on campus for you. Bob Williams, our lawyer, your lawyer, everybody's lawyer. Bob Williams joins us on 1620 The Zone. Bob, good evening.
Hey, gentlemen. So I was listening to the prior segment. You're talking about Stoudemire and talking about a guy who probably doesn't miss many meals and taste some food. 296-1, 296. Is that what his numbers look like?
Big guy. Like my question about him though is his get off of the line. Like he just looks a step slow. And he was good at Boston College, and I think they just for the investment they're probably making into that level of player, probably need him to be a little bit better than good.
And he looks like a run stuffer more so. I mean, I know Zach need more of a stuffer middle.
Yeah. And that's what you're going to need out of those two guys in the interior in Rob Orch's system. So it's really like the prospect of all these guys are bringing in are really intriguing, specifically on the defense, because outside of the San Diego State transfers, like you don't really know what you're getting. So and to me, that's really interesting. Hey, let's talk a little bit of legal because that's why we bring you on.
Sure.
Fred Kerley is one of the fastest men in the world, and he was not able to attend the Olympics this year because he was facing a battery charge from back in May of 2025. The charges got dropped today, and Fred decided to drop a picture of him and his lawyer in celebration with the old school handshake meme post. But when we talk about an athlete, or even, I mean, maybe not an athlete, just a person in general that is facing litigation, specifically of a charge like this, where there are personal implications on your character and who you can represent. What obviously in America you're innocent until proven guilty, but as far as like being able to represent your sport and your country, where do those limitations kind of lie?
Well, first of all, yeah, and thanks for having me on again, guys. Talking about Fred Kerley, so he had a very interesting month here. He's had 3 separate cases stemming back from 2 cases in a case in 2024 and 2 cases in 2025. 2 different, ex-wife and an ex-girlfriend,
Right.
each in consecutive Mays in May 24 and May 2025, each accused him of different variations of levels of domestic violence. Some were actually felony charges. One was strangulation, robbery, and I think those are felony charges.
Right.
And then again, they're two separate parties. And then he also, if you recall, had that New Year's or maybe it was January 2nd incident where he was arrested and tased by the Miami-Dade County Police. In all three of these separate cases, well, we can throw a pun out here if you want. He outran all three cases here in the last month.
Pretty fast.
All three cases were resolved by some type of dismissal by the state or county prosecutor in each of the three incidents. So for a gentleman like this, so the United States has what's called the Center for Safe Sport. I don't know how familiar you guys are with that. It has some.
That's why we bring a lawyer on.
Well, and we have what's called the Safe Sport Code in the
Mhm.
United States. It's federal jurisdiction. It's authorized federal jurisdiction over our Olympic athletes. Different types of offenses can have different types of sanctions or bans. Very often when there are pending charges, they are under temporary restrictions, which I believe he was under. They, much like your NFL or your NBA or MLB or NHL, can do independent investigations. But typically when you're talking NFL, they can thrust hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars into their investigations versus a scenario involving the Safe Sport. So typically what I've seen is Safe Sport and U.S. Olympic Committee will let law enforcement process play itself out and then maybe adjust or tweak what their suspensions or ban are based off of the dismissals. And I would expect at this point, barring him finding himself into another set of trouble, he should probably be reinstated for the next U.S. Olympic trials, I would think.
Sounds like that's the plan. Yeah. And obviously in these situations, sometimes defense attorneys try to present a different case or maybe even a different story along the lines of what happened to get either a lesser charge or maybe the charge is dropped. Can you kind of talk about that process and what that looks like?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I had my my first ever jury trial almost a little over 20 years ago. It was a domestic violence case actually against my brother-in-law, and I'll still hold the scoreboard over his head on that one when he was a prosecutor. Hopefully he's listening right now. But very often when you're talking cases involving domestic violence, there is what's called the cycle of domestic violence. And I don't think your average layperson who watches maybe a Lifetime movie understands what they see in that show probably does not port to what happens in real life. Very often there's a more elaborate history between the two domestic partners. There's very often a situation in which there's truth being questioned, or maybe the domestic partner who's accusing the defendant of the wrongdoing maybe has changed his or her mind about what they want to see happen and whether or not they're going to participate in the prosecution of that case. In fact, I just had a case last week in which I had a client charged with a very serious assault charge against a significant other. And through a series of interviews, investigations, I was able to talk to her through, and with a third party present, have her testify that she actually had changed some of her story and made up some of her story to law enforcement in order just to get him out of the house, not knowing that he actually would be arrested and charged with the crimes. And so sometimes, and again, it's hard to paint this with a broad brush, but sometimes the law is used as a sword. Sometimes the law is used as a shield. But in any instance where you've got a defense attorney helping a defendant, basically our job is to review every little bit of evidence. Always have a third party present when you're talking to victims, or record the conversation, which you can't do in Nebraska. And that way you can make sure to get very objective evidence to convey to the prosecutor. In the case I was just speaking about, we didn't have to go to trial. I basically sat down, conveyed the information that I'd gotten through the interview and deposition, and conveyed that to the prosecutor. They were willing to look at things objectively and dismiss the case without actually having to go to trial. So it really, knowing that your attorney has a working relationship and understands who they're dealing with from a prosecutorial standpoint, law enforcement standpoint, because a lot of times cops or investigators get caught in a position where they're like, well, I don't know what the real story is. I mean, maybe we have
Sure.
video, objective third-party evidence or audio, but a lot of times it's a he said, she said, or she said, she said, and the real truth is probably somewhere in the middle. And again, that's just my experience over 20 years of practicing in this field. But very often cases get dismissed. In fact, as far as criminal defense areas of practice, most commonly dismissed cases are those of domestic violence.
Which is unfortunate. Bob Williams of Williams Law is joining us here. Criminal, civil, personal. If you're facing any litigation, head over to WilliamsLawLLC.com tonight. Get a free, no obligation legal consultation. We tend to ask some non-sports related things out there just in case somebody is dealing with it. Obviously, spring break is coming up. Kids are going to be out and about and maybe making some bad decisions. If a mom or dad is listening to this and their son or daughter is facing litigation, what piece of advice do you give them after the charge is picked up, and what should be kind of their first procedures if they're trying to help their son or daughter out?
Well, let me give you a little bit of preemptive advice that would stem before they get to that point. I mean, as you can see, we've talked about this 2 or 3 times that Douglas County Sheriff is really cracking down on reckless type driving, speeding, what they call drag racing or pacing other cars. You see, if you follow any of the social media sites for the sheriff's office, you see nightly arrests where they're impounding cars, booking people into jail on misdemeanors, trying to send a point to make the streets safer. But once a parent contacts me, which I've had several parents contact me, and they have children that are young adults or actually juvenile offenders, I think the first thing is letting them know that somebody's on their side to understand their situation, to objectively review the facts of the case. And really, this comes from the Department of No Crap, but having them put themselves into position to where they don't continue to shoot themselves in the foot, right?
Yeah.
Don't pick up other charges. Don't go out drinking. Don't get caught in a car with marijuana. Don't do those things that can just exacerbate the situation. And then from a therapeutic or maybe another helpful, I guess, outside looking in standpoint is if they do have issues related to drugs, alcohol, or mental health issues, getting them in touch with folks who can do objective review, diagnostics, and then recommend them for treatment. And I would say that probably 60 to 70% of my clients have a substance abuse or dependency issue, and if you combine that with a mental health diagnosis, which would be called co-occurring illnesses, there's a lot to deal with for them, and it's very important we get them into the right hands from a diagnostic and treatment perspective.
If you're dealing with a situation like that, and that was a little bit insightful, but you want a little bit more, head over to WilliamsLawLLC.com, book a free, no obligation legal consultation with Bob and his team tonight. Bob, we hope you and the family are feeling better. It's going around. Hopefully we have you in studio next week.
Yep. Thanks, boys. Have a good night.
Nebraska's got a big one against Iowa tonight. We're going to talk about the Huskers and the Jays. We come back on 1620 The Zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for our friends at Pasta Amore. Listen, we told you earlier in the show there is a special menu over at Pasta Amore tonight. We had the duck gumbo. Listen, I am of Czech descent, and I spent a lot of my life eating duck with too much salt on it. If you're a fan of just duck with a ton of flavor that doesn't need 5 pounds of salt, Pasta Amore is the place for you tonight. They've also got the chicken with the green and white taste. Also, the Zapole is available tonight on the sweet side as well. Special menu celebrating Carnival. Get dressed up. Wear your favorite mask. Wear your beads. Be celebratory of Mardi Gras tonight at Pasta Amore, the best date night experience in Omaha.
The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
Winter may slow pests down, but it's the perfect time to prepare your home for spring. Rodents, spiders, and other pests often show up indoors this time of year. A winter pest control checkup helps seal entry points now so you're not dealing with pests when warmer weather hits. At Recon Pest Services, we're proud to be a local company and supporting causes that make Omaha better. If you're looking for a pest control partner or even support for a cause, think Recon. Visit ReconPestServices.com and get your home ready for a pest-free spring.
My name's Stephen Butler, and I own Controlled Comfort. And we've been in business for 6 decades. And in those 6 decades, I like to think that everything we do is about the art of comfort. It's about the skill of our people, but it's also about the integrity, because at the end of the day, I value my employees, so they value you. And that's really all this is about. If you get cold this winter, think about us. We'll come help you out. We'll get you out of bind. It'll be fair, it'll be fast, and it'll be the right price.
Control Comfort keeps it under control.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
AX Plumbing has the cold weather deals. So if your hot water isn't so hot anymore, you can't afford to pass up on these deals. Tankless water heaters are $450 off. Traditional water heaters are $200 off. And for those real hard water problems, water softeners are $300 off. Stop by AXP Service tonight and fix your water heater before it gets too cold outside. AX Plumbing. We'll leave your home or your business cleaner than we found it.
Short on cash? Get 2 weeks free this month. Furniture, appliances, electronics, or even tires today. And no credit is needed at Ace Rent to Own.
Ace Rent to Own, where we make rents.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
A consultation at Sedora Law Group isn't a formality, it's a strategic session with experienced trial attorneys who've handled felony charges, DUI cases, and complex litigation for individuals and corporate clients. Experience matters. At the Sedora Law Group, that experience focuses on what matters most in court: posture, presentation, and legal credibility. Schedule a consultation at sedoralaw.com. That's SODORO law.com. When your family, freedom, or finances are on the line, your outcome depends on what you do next. Visit sedoralaw.com.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
.634 on a Taste Test Tuesday on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Bellevue University. You can keep up to date on all the championship action happening on Bellevue's campus by downloading the BU Bruins app to your smartphone. Lucas Gabriel's men's basketball team cruising to a possible #1 seed in the NAIA tournament. Hopefully that comes to fruition. Hopefully going to get Gabe in the next week or two to talk about that as well. Not headed to the national tournament as of now is the Creighton men's basketball team, unfortunately. After another pretty tough loss to Villanova this weekend, just kind of leaves this team really looking for answers. And we're going to get to Nebraska in a minute. They've obviously got a pretty big one, if not already up until this point in the season. And this is going to feel like this way for the rest of the Nebraska season. Maybe the biggest game of the Nebraska season is going to be every game left on this schedule, because they got a ton left to play for, unlike Creighton. And is there a chance that Creighton catches lightning in a bottle and gets the opportunity to go to March Madness after winning the Big East tournament? Yes, that is. You always have a puncher's chance in college basketball. That's what makes the sport so special, and what makes the month of March so much fun, because anything can happen despite the rest of the way the rest of your season unfolded. this team just lacks that ability of being able to get hot at the right time.
Yeah.
I don't think they have the shooters, the lack of athleticism, the way the injuries have piled up on this team, how beat up this team is. Like, if you had been missing a couple guys and clearly nothing was going to drag Josh Dix off the court, that is very well.
We have found that out.
That is very well documented. But like, if it was hey, you missed Josh Dix for a month and now he's coming back healthy, and Austin Swartz hurt his foot and now he's coming back well rested, and Isaac Trout is hitting threes at an all-time high at this point in the season, maybe. And that's even a big maybe, just because of the wagons that are located in Storrs, Connecticut, in Queens, New York. That's going to take it to the bank. That's your Big East tournament championship match. You got to see them play one more time before that gets here too. And I think both those matchups are going to be very fun to watch. But I think you still clearly have to win these last 5, or at least try to. If you're Creighton, you've got to give the effort. You got 2 pretty tough ones coming up in those 2 aforementioned cities. And then you get a couple winnable games specifically at home. And like there's the lure of not playing on that Wednesday in New York, but honestly, like, I think that might help this team. I think this team might be better off in not one of those top 5 seeds and having to play that first game, maybe getting a win under their belt and feeling better about their chances.
Yeah, I hope that from a just like general how we've been lately perspective, this team isn't getting too down on itself right now.
Yeah, which it'd be hard not to, right? And I mean, Creighton currently sitting at 5th in the Big East, ahead of Xavier by 2 games in conference play. You're going to lose these next 2. Like, I don't think in a perfect storm scenario, Creighton finds a way to win at UConn or at St. John. Excuse me. I want to see what their response looks like. And you've clearly got to start looking towards the future. And it's pretty readily apparent the future wears number 10 because Hudson Greer is a dude. And obviously you got to keep him on campus. And I firmly believe as long as Trey Ziegler is in Omaha, Hudson Greer will be as well. But, you got to find out what you have in Austin Swartz. You got to figure out what you're going to do with that 5 position. And you've got to find a way to get more athletic bodies on this roster, because the lack of toughness in certain areas or ways, and I mean, from like a physicality standpoint, and the lack of athleticism has been a giant hole for this team. But I think you've got some pieces that make it really intriguing. Like if Owen Freeman is able to be as healthy as we saw him 2 years ago in Iowa City, that looks a lot different this year. If your backup 5-man isn't and listen, I think Karam's going to be really good. I'm just talking about this season. It isn't a European product that had never played Americanized basketball before that's catching up to the speed and the physicality of the game. And I think when you take that into equation, Karam Cohan's actually looked really impressive.
Yeah.
That's a different conversation. If Jason Green is able to play the 4 spot and not having to play the 5 at 6 foot, or at 6'8", that's a different conversation.
Jason Green is 6'8"?
Yeah. Are you saying like he's short or tall? I can't figure out what you're trying to say.
I can never get a handle on how tall basketball players are until I see them in person. Like, I was like, oh, Karam Cohan he's tall, but he's not that tall. And then I stood next to him and I went,
no, he's 6'10".
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, but it's one of those things that like Creighton has played so out of position at so many spots this year that, and it's been out of necessity, that I don't think you can look at this team and ultimately grade it as a failure. Now, did they have success? No, but were there circumstances that caused the failure outside of their own doing? Yeah, absolutely. I would hate to see this team roll over. I don't think we will. With the mental makeup of guys like Nick Graves and Josh Dix and Jason Green, I would be really surprised if they do. These next 2 outings are going to be really, really tough for this Jays team. And I hope they're able to come out the other side, build some momentum heading into New York, and finish this season out on as positive a note as they possibly can. You're clearly going to get a shot to make a postseason tournament because the crown is always readily available if you don't find a way to win the Big East tournament. So I would like to see them go out on as positive a note as possible for the guys that aren't coming back next year to have that last shining moment in Omaha.
Well, and it'd just be nice, especially for Creighton to close out the season, to see a little bit of that success so you can say, to the guys who are going to have the opportunity to stay here for another year. Look, this is what we can be next year. And we've got this slender man from Wayzata, Minnesota at the end of the bench right now who's wearing a boot. And it'd be nice to see him back out in the lineup as well to actually kind of complete that rotation.
Jackson's going to be an interesting case study, though, right? Because he's obviously a high-profile target out of high school.
Yeah.
He has not been the focal point of the offense yet. Because you had a Steven Ashworth, Jemiah Neal, Ryan Kalkbrenner a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
B, he gets hurt this season. But the way, and this is an insider knowledge, this is me just talking out loud. And you can say this about anybody coming off of an injury. The way college athletics works now is the more years you play, typically, the more money you demand, right? And I don't know if Jackson cares about money. He may not, but this is an into the ether conversation for anybody that may be wondering what your fill in the blank favorite basketball team is going to look like next year. If you have a high profile player coming off of an injury and they're requesting more money because that's what their agent is going to do, that's what the market is going to tell you is going to happen, how do you address that problem? Because it becomes very hard to justify it based on productivity, right? So, and maybe and maybe for a Jackson McAndrews situation, he doesn't care. That's a very good possibility. Maybe he just wants to be in Omaha because that's what he said up until these last 2 years. And I think he'll be here. But I think it's going to be really interesting, not only for Jackson's case, but for anybody dealing with an injury and what that conversation looks like. Because it's going to happen. It's business now, and that's the way business works.
Yeah. I have a lot of faith that, number one, that's not who Jackson is.
Yeah.
And then
But hold on. Because I think it's important to point out that's how all these players are being handled now, despite who they are as a person.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I know that.
Because they all have agents, right? And it may not be who they are, but it's their agents' jobs, essentially, to garner for them to get that additional pay.
Well, then here, Jackson, speaking directly to you now.
My name is Jimmy.
I will run into you in my neighborhood eventually.
Well, don't do that. He's got a hurt foot.
I know. Don't make me hate another basketball player from Minnesota, especially another tall one.
See, I don't think you can, like, I don't think we as fans should have the ability to go, that guy left us. Because it's just the way business is done now. And listen, there's also a chance that Creighton could recruit over him. Like that's probably not going to happen because Jackson McAndrews is a pretty good and talented basketball player.
Yeah.
But at this point with the transfer portal, it's a very likely situation. I will be interested to see what Jackson McAndrews looks like next year in the system because it's another year with the Allen Huss wrinkle added into it. And he's part of the athleticism that they sorely missed this year. But it's also, we didn't get to see a whole lot of him, if at all, with Austin Swartz in the rotation, which I think could have been really interesting. And like, if Jackson was healthy this season, like, how much would have you looked like Jackson McAndrews, though? Like, because he would have probably had to slide down and play the 4, because Jason had to slide down and play the 5, and maybe that gives you a little bit of leeway with Isaac Trout. He would have stayed at the 3, which is a possibility. But I just think everybody that you watched for Creighton this season, you have to grade on a curve to some degree because of how many of them, specifically Jason Green, who I think is way overachieved, has had to play out of position and out of disability. And it clearly took Josh Dix a little while to get going from an offensive standpoint, but he should probably be top 3 to 5 in the Big East Defensive Player of the Year category.
I would hope
just
so.
The way he's been able to lock down best players on the other side.
Well,
I mean, my God, at one point in the season, he was having to play the 5 at the end of a game.
I mean, he's gotten a lot better as the season has gone on.
He's gotten more comfortable, I agree.
And his role, I think, has gotten more solidified. And he now seems, in general, to understand what is asked and what is demanded of him. And to compare this to last year, the year before, and the year before that is a road that is less traveled that I do not want to travel. Because the way that this year has looked compared to last year is apples and peaches. You just can't even go from one to the other because it's a completely different beast, and you're trying to slot a lot of guys in to what some would argue have become legacy positions.
Yeah.
Where you can't immediately replace Stephen Ashworth. They're starting to do a good job of that. But you've got the giant hole in the middle.
I also want to point out that Stephen Ashworth didn't really readily replace Ryan Nemhart in his first season either.
No, he did not.
Yeah.
So it's going to be difficult and it's going to be different.
Hey guys, Michigan might be good, by the way.
Yeah. Go green, go white.
Let's flip the page to Nebraska for a second, because clearly they got a big one tonight.
Plus 100 on the money line.
Yeah, you smoke. They smoked Northwestern on Saturday, and Bryce Sanford has second best performance in a Nebraska uniform, and you're a minus 1.5 point underdog. I guess you'd be plus 1.5 point underdog in Iowa City tonight. Tips at 8. Now, listen, Iowa is one of those teams that before the weekend you felt like as a team that could get hot, make a run at the top 25 and be it. And I still think they can by the end of the year. And there's a reason that they're a favorite tonight. That building's a tough place to get a win in, but I really feel like if you win out, if Nebraska wins out, because bracketology today, and we're going to get to the rest of the bracketology later in the show, but ESPN's bracketology today had Nebraska as a 4 seed. I'm going to tell you right now, if Nebraska wins out, which they very much have a chance to do, you're on the road tonight, and you still have to go to the West Coast for a series against USC and UCLA. But you finish the season 28-3, at worst, Nebraska is a 2 seed, if not a better situation. You lose one game, I still think there's a possibility of having a 1 seed. Now, you lose 2 games and then go on a run in the Big Ten tournament. When you lose matters. And if they can go on a run in the Big Ten tournament, you're probably still looking at a 2 seed, if not the worst, the 3 seed. I don't understand how Nebraska is a 4 seed in bracketology right now, because I think at worst, even the way the season's gone right now, they're a 3 seed.
I think they're going worst case scenario. I know during our last commercial break, you might have been out of the room for this portion of the current Michigan-Purdue game that they were showing, but they came back from commercial.
Why is this game on Peacock, by the way? Bad decision.
Bad idea, PetSmart. I'm going to blame PetSmart.
That's fine.
They're showing commercials for them. They flashed up the graphic that was like perspective, seedings for all of the teams in the Big Ten that have a chance to make the tournament.
I did not see this.
With UCLA being on the 11 line play-in game, Michigan obviously assuming that they're going to get a 1 seed. Then I want to say it was Illinois and Purdue had 2 seeds, and Nebraska was a 3 seed. So that is what the big wigs at NBC Sports,
because that's what's going to happen. I mean, it's all based on the timing of the season. But with that being said, I still think, and we pointed this out with a week or 2 weeks ago, Nebraska by far of the top 10 ranked teams in the country has the easiest schedule. Like, they're not going to face another top 25 opponent. Everybody else other than Nebraska has to play 2, and Nebraska still has 3 games at home. So I really think Nebraska ends up, I think they win tonight. I think tonight's going to be another statement game for this team. Actually, I think they sweep Iowa State. The only game I'm really worried about is those 2 games out on the West Coast, just because the travel and kind of feels like there's a room to stumble there. USC worries me a little bit more than UCLA for some reason. I can't pinpoint why.
I don't know why you wouldn't. Mick Cronin seems to have something to say about everything, and Fred's going to come into town, and we're going to get a Mick Cronin soundbite. Yeah, it will be on the social media soundbite tonight.
Listen, Nebraska rolls into the Big Ten tournament 28-3. There's gonna be a lot of happy people around here. Hey, if you missed this segment, check it out on our radio replay page at 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by our friends at Controlled Comfort Heating and Air. Get warm today? Get warm enough to turn on your air conditioner? Did you feel good about it when you clicked the on switch on your thermostat? If you did not, you need to head over to controlledcomfort.com. Have peace of mind about your HVAC when you turn on either your heat or your air conditioner. How do you do that? That maintenance appointment is done quarterly, where they come out, they replace your furnace filter, they take a look at both units and make sure they're running properly. Check out controlledcomfort.com for more details tonight. We find out what's trending on social media when we come back on 1620 The Zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for Recon Pest Services. Listen, it's starting to get warmer outside, and when that happens, critters come crawling out of holes in your yard. You don't want them to try to find their way into your house when it gets cold again. Head over to reconpestservices.com. Set up barriers and treatments to make sure that there aren't any creepy crawlies crawling in your house when it's warm outside. Head over to reconpestservices.com tonight.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot field house featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
If your brand isn't generating you business, well, it's losing. That's where Sign Ovation steps in. We help Omaha businesses win the visibility game with bold storefront signs and vehicle decals that turn your ride into a rolling billboard. Your brand should be working, even when you're not. Driving impressions, creating leads, and bringing customers through the door. Stop riding the bench. Put your brand in the game. Visit OmahaSignsAndWraps.com tonight. That's OmahaSignsAndWraps.com. Sign Ovation, where brands show up and win.
Are you dreaming of your business dominating local Google searches, drawing in customers effortlessly? Look no further. I'm Courtney, the Google gal from Pixel Fire Marketing. Need assistance with your Google business profile? From verification to getting more reviews, fixing maps to tackling annoying Google calls? I've got you covered. Your profile sets you apart and ensures you're the top choice for local customers. Visit fixmygbp.com for our $297 special offer. Visit fixmygbp.com for more details.
Hey Jays fans, it's hoop season and you know what that means. Jerry Ryan has the best selection in town for all things Creighton gear. Stop by Jerry Ryan at 78th and Dodge for your quarter zips in all shades of Jays blue, plus jackets, vest, winter coats, you name it. They have it. Multiple Jays options for men and women from Peter Millar, Cutter and Buck, and Johnny O. Stop by Jerry Ryan Clothing and dress like the coaches do.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
Oh, honey, I love the first few months of a new year.
Why?
I get a chance to shovel.
You hate to shovel.
Not snow, cash. The Nebraska Lottery's Cash Blast promotion is back. Buy a 2x2 ticket and get a voucher. Enter online for a chance to win a $5,000 or $500 weekly prize. And if your winning voucher is from a 7-day draw ticket, your prize is doubled.
Great. It snowed last night. Here's a shovel.
But
consider it practice.
2x2 top prize odds are 1 in 105,000.
AX Plumbing has the cold weather deals. So if your hot water isn't so hot anymore, you can't afford to pass up on these deals. Tankless water heaters are $450 off. Traditional water heaters are $200 off. And for those real hard water problems, water softeners are $300 off. Stop by AXP Service tonight and fix your water heater before it gets too cold outside. AX Plumbing. We'll leave your home or your business cleaner than we found it.
In Kansas, truth is told in speed, wide open, full bore, and no mercy. Season momentum earned 3 and 4 wide, loud, intense, inches predicting outcomes, blink and miss.
They bang sideways.
What just happened? Pure speed whipping across the plains.
Hell yeah, boys!
NASCAR weekend at Kansas Speedway, April 18th and 19th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
It's a new year and a new savings opportunity with lower prices at Superior Honda of Omaha. Hundreds of new Hondas to choose from. Stop by the dealership at 4111 South 144th Street or see all the bargains online at hondaofomaha.com.
Raising little ones is a big job, and you do your best to give them a good start every day. That means making sure they're well cared for while you're apart. You work hard, but it's not always easy to make ends meet. There may be help. Find out if you qualify for Nebraska's Child Care Tax Credit for working parents. You could be eligible for a credit of up to $2,000 per child on your next tax return. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
You are listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
Putting a bow on the After Hours Lounge first hour tonight brought to you by Bellevue University. Head over to bellevue.edu, register for classes, and become a Bruin. Tonight, Dan Campion, who's already kind of spoiled it a little bit, has the social media soundbite for us.
Have I spoiled the social media soundbite?
Maybe, unless you changed it. You mentioned what it was in the last segment, but
I did.
Unless it's different.
Oh, no.
And there's the proof, guys. Dan Campion doesn't know what he says when he's talking.
I mean, I feel like our listeners have known that all along, Jimmy. Do you remember bum fights?
Okay, maybe you didn't spoil the social media soundbite.
No, I did not.
I do remember bum fights.
Bum fights was a cultural phenomenon in which a man would pay homeless folks to fight each other on video. And you could buy VHS copies of the tapes, and they were around. We have emerged in the 21st century to a new version of bum fights.
Oh my gosh. What is this?
Let's see if they say what it is, and if they don't, I'll tell you.
Okay.
I will tell you, I promise.
Oh, they're just gonna play cool music. Yeah, it's good.
Two people
I have an idea what it
who
is.
probably shouldn't be fighting each other for any reason are fighting each other.
Oh, there's a couple of these. These could be a lot of things right now.
On Saturday, May 16th, Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano are going to fight each other. For everyone's fun and context, as I would like to call it, Ronda Rousey's last official MMA fight was December 28th of 2016 at UFC 207. Care to guess when Gina Carano's last MMA fight was?
2011?
August 15th of 09.
Wow.
Why obviously.
I'll give you one guess.
I'll be tuned in.
Money.
For the money. But why are you making Gina Carano and Ronda Rousey the two people to fight?
They probably just agreed to. and
Fair enough.
Neither one of their acting careers have panned out.
Oh, really? The gal who is just completely and utterly wooden and can only get cast as someone who punches people is really not a great actress?
Or professional wrestler for that matter.
Or the person who has a lot of hot takes that people don't want to hear are going to be really successful in a liberal Hollywood?
You know, it's funny as you could have made those two references about either one of those people, and it
Exactly,
didn't matter what
yeah.
you were talking about. Listen,
That's why I was saying ambiguous.
I have famously hated on the Conor McGregor Floyd Mayweather thing. I'm going to hate on the Floyd Mayweather Mike Tyson thing, which seems like that's a possibility of
But
happening.
they're fighting?
There's discussion about it. It's a lot of
Ew.
rumor and innuendo right now. Stop paying for this crap. Like, we only have Jake. I take that back. I was gonna say we only have Jake Paul to blame for this. We have ourselves to blame for people that decide to watch this crap on Netflix or buy these pay-per-views for fighters 10 years past their prime. Shame on you. This is your fault. But like with the Mike Tyson stuff, like the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight, I understood why you would pay your hard-earned money. I guess if you already had a Netflix subscription, you already paid it to watch that just in case you got a glimpse of what Mike Tyson used to be. You could get me there. With Ronda Rousey, it wasn't like she was a knockout artist. She's a judo player who's really good on the ground and armbarred people.
Yeah.
You really want to pay to watch that? It was one thing when she was undefeated in the face of MMA, because make no mistake about it, she was the face of MMA for the better part of 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
But Dana White has basically come out and told you that was kind of all smoke and mirrors and put behind her to push them for the machine to push through, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. See the Holly Holm fight, see the Amanda Nunes fight for confirmation on everything I just said.
We remember.
I just don't know who this is for. Like, you know what I mean? Is there nostalgia for Ronda Rousey already? That feels way too soon, right?
It just seems weird, specifically from like the Rousey aspect, because it's too soon for nostalgia. She's never really gone away. That's kind of like, at least like with Mike Tyson, there was that little bit of a draw where it was like, Well, we've seen him hit the heavy bag. We know that he still has like, the kind of pepper in his punch where he can kind of stick and move and work it a little bit. But with Ronda Rousey, you're like, yeah, you've basically stayed in the exact same shape that you have from the end of your UFC career until now. And then with Gina Carano,
yeah, but hold on. You're right. And I agree with what you just said. There's a difference between being in shape and being in fight shape, though.
Yeah.
You can't really rep getting punched in the face.
Well, I mean, you can. It's called sparring, right?
Yeah, but with a Hollywood schedule, you're not getting rep punched in the face.
Okay, that's a light Hollywood schedule. What's the last major motion picture that Ronda Rousey was in?
Fast 10.
And
she also was obviously in the WWE also, but I just like there's a difference between sparring and letting somebody rest on top of your back for 3 straight minutes.
Fair enough.
Like that, the difference between boxing shape, and this is no disrespect to boxing. I feel like you can fake what we saw Mike Tyson do.
Yeah, I mean a little bit.
You can dance around. You can be a good enough boxer to keep your distance to where your cardio isn't going to cost you until later rounds. And in the MMA world, you get taken down the first minute and a half of a match. Your cardio's not there. You're done. Like you're going to get laid on top of and pummeled.
Yeah, that is fair.
Like if you've got enough strength and enough boxing IQ, you can keep your distance and keep a fight interesting.
I'm going to say I will.
That's not the case in the cage.
I will take it back to the fact that we saw a man, and this is no disrespect to him because he fought with a broken hand, and I could not imagine doing that. But we saw a man by the name of Andy Ruiz fight live and in person.
Yeah.
And I wasn't watching that fight going, wow, look at that. Look at that super in shape guy.
He's got wind though, man.
Look at that bronze bomber. Like, at least when like he fights, when you see like Anthony Joshua fight, you're like, oh my God,
that's Anthony Joshua.
You're jacked.
Yeah.
You're a heavyweight and you're jacked. With Andy Ruiz, you're like, oh, you're just gonna like take my head completely off my shoulders.
Yeah, and again, that's also a good point. Is these are bantamweights, not heavyweights. That also matters.
Yeah.
Hey, Dan's got buy or sell. We come back. If you missed this segment, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing. Do you post your business on social media every day? Do you not have time to? We have the solution for you. Check out pixelfiremarketing.com tonight. Dan DeSaivi and his crew will help. Will grow. Dan DeSaivi and his crew will set you down, give you the roadmap to success, engage your ideal client online with ads that convert to sales. How do I know that? They do that for my daily business as well at Sign Ovation. Check out pixelfiremarketing.com for more details tonight. Buy or sell with Noah Houston. We come back at 1620 Zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for AX Plumbing. Home or residential, business or residential, they can do it all. Commercial or residential is what I was trying to say, Dan Campion. Obviously, you know that. Everybody that listens to the After Hours Lounge knows that because you've been hearing me talk about AX Plumbing for 2 years. And I have to tell you how many times Nick and the crew at AX Plumbing have thrown me a life vest in dire strides. Thanksgiving 2 years ago, back up in my basement. They came out and they fixed the problem permanently. 2-year-old flooded my basement or flooded my toilet in my upstairs. Came out, fixed the issue. Wax ring went bad underneath the toilet because of that situation. They fixed that problem as well. If you have big-time plumbing problems, but not a big-time plumbing budget, there's even financing available on the website. Head over to axpservice.com and get your big-time plumbing issues fixed tonight.
The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait. Make a lasting impact today.
If your brand isn't generating you business, well, it's losing. That's where Sign Ovation steps in. We help Omaha businesses win the visibility game with bold storefront signs and vehicle decals that turn your ride into a rolling billboard. Your brand should be working, even when you're not. Driving impressions, creating leads, and bringing customers through the door. Stop riding the bench. Put your brand in the game. Visit OmahaSignsAndWraps.com tonight. That's OmahaSignsAndWraps.com. Sign Ovation, where brands show up and win.
Rail Cars Happy Hour is here.
Stop by 144th and Blondo Monday through Saturday from 2:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday from 2 to close, and enjoy $2 to $5 off appetizers, $1 off draft and bottles of beer, and delicious ciders. All signature cocktails are $10. Classic cocktails are $8, and every glass of wine is $2 off. Plus, Rail Cars' incredible brunch menu is on display 9:30 to 2 Saturday and Sunday.
Rail Car Modern American Kitchen.
144th and Blondo.
Hey, Jays fans, it's hoop season, and you know what that means. Jerry Ryan has the best selection in town for all things Creighton gear. Stop by Jerry Ryan at 78th and Dodge for your quarter zips in all shades of Jays blue, plus jackets, vest, winter coats, you name it. They have it. Multiple Jays options for men and women from Peter Millar, Cutter and Buck, and Johnny O. Stop by Jerry Ryan Clothing and dress like the coaches do.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI, or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
AX Plumbing has the cold weather deals. So if your hot water isn't so hot anymore, you can't afford to pass up on these deals. Tankless water heaters are $450 off. Traditional water heaters are $200 off. And for those real hard water problems, water softeners are $300 off. Stop by AXP Service tonight and fix your water heater before it gets too cold outside. AX Plumbing. We'll leave your home or your business cleaner than we found it.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like payroll manager.
Hi, my last paycheck was all in Icelandic krona.
You are welcome.
Welcome?
Given the exchange rate between the dollar and the krona, you're technically a millionaire now. Don't spend it all in one place.
I can't really spend it anywhere.
There's always Iceland.
This is a job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Bring the outside in with an exclusive year-round sunroom from Remodel, Nebraska. Locally owned and operated, we design and build custom sunrooms, patio covers, decks, and more. Perfect for enjoying our changing seasons. Voted #1 Best of Omaha in sunrooms, our team turns your vision into reality. Remodel-ne.com.
Invite the outdoors in with a sunroom. Remodel, Nebraska.
KOZ and Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone.
Top of the second hour on 1620, The Zone on a Taste Test Tuesday. Get out and enjoy Mardi Gras over at Pasta Amore in Rockbrook Village tonight. Dan Campinen has, is Noah reading these for us?
Noah's reading us by herself.
Noah Houston is with us tonight. The pride of all of Iowa Western Community College is here. We don't have a camera for him though, do we?
We don't. I can flip this one around.
No, that's right. Well, we need you on camera too. So Noah, turn around and wave to the camera above for all the night shift listeners. Go ahead and give a wave. Noah, you have to wave to the camera. That's a camera. There you go. Bam. All right, nailed it. All right, Noah, go ahead and read by yourself for us.
All right, so late last week, as his personal conduct case with the NFL remains open, the Dolphins have released Tyreek Hill.
Oh, I forgot about this.
Even with all of his foibles, I have to ask a buy or sell, is he worth the headache?
No, he's not. The short answer is no, because he's an aged out wide receiver. I mean, if he could still be Tyreek Hill from Kansas City, sure. But the likelihood of that at his age and all the problems on top of it, and he doesn't seem like he cares to solve those issues, I think we've seen the last of Tyreek Hill in the NFL.
I buy is so. This really hurts me to say it because obviously we love football here.
Yes.
We love the NFL. When have they ever been like, oh no, you're a horrible person, but can you run really fast and catch the football or run with the football?
He's gonna be 32, man. If he's 27, I agree. Dan, you're right. You're 100.
Is he going to jail?
You're 100% right in that sentiment. The NFL has never been like, hey, you're gonna win I mean, yes, they do the Walter Payton Award thing, but they've never been like, you're an upstating citizen. Congratulations, come play football. No, it's just it's always been they turn a blind eye to talent.
Hey, Rashi Rice.
Yeah.
Hey, Jordan Addison. You guys are speeding a lot in your cars here. 4-game suspension? Sounds about right.
No, Rasheed got 8, right?
I thought Rasheed.
He got 6.
6.
He got 6. Addison's the one who got 4.
Split the difference. Yeah.
Yep.
But I mean, there's this conversation about him possibly returning to Kansas City to have a Patrick Mahomes reunion. If you're thinking that's going to fix all your problems in Kansas City, I got some bad news for you. You got a lot more issues than that. Noah, you want your boy back?
I just don't think he's going to be as good now, especially with that injury he had.
Yeah, that's a good point too. I don't know. I wouldn't want him in San Francisco. I'll tell you that much.
Reek, I'm going to let you know. Don't come to the Packers. Don't do that. Well, I don't want him in my program.
Well, I don't think your pristine ownership in Green Bay would allow that. Anyway.
Exactly. But you know what? Reek, go for 11. Go for 12. Just rack up baby mamas. Yeah, you can do that.
Man, he's got the bank account right now.
Well, allegedly.
Noah, what else we got?
New coach alert.
Uh-oh.
The Browns are hiring Mike Rutenberg. Buy or sell. His name that comes up in your defensive coordinator conversations.
I mean, Atlanta's defense was fine last year. I don't know if it was great. It's also the Browns. I don't know. I didn't see this coming, if that's the question that's being asked. So I guess I sell. But I mean, was there a hire that the Browns were going to make a defensive coordinator that made you feel real great about it?
No. Yeah. To be fair, no, that would not have been the case. But I sell because before I saw this gentleman's name in my news alerts today, I went, there's a coach named Mike Rutenberg.
Yeah.
And yeah, Atlanta they were fine last year, but I put most of that on Raheem Morris.
Sure.
Than I do on Mike Rutenberg, mainly because, like I just stated a second ago, I did not know who this man was until today.
I feel really weird about this whole situation because I like Todd Monken, so I'm going to be kind of rooting for them. But, I only have high expectations because of my affinity for Todd Monken. It's just they're Cleveland. You've got Garrett. You've got Myles Garrett, one of the best pass rushers we've ever seen, and you've just not been able to do anything with him. You ruined Baker Mayfield.
Mm-hmm.
You can't seem to find I think Kevin Stefanski was a really good coach, and I'm glad he's finally out of there. But until there's an ownership change, I just find it really hard to believe that we're going to see anything different out of places like Carolina, like Cleveland. And I know that Carolina had a turnaround season last year. Don't be surprised if that's an outlier.
By the way, shout out to Myles Garrett finally getting the grid post.
Yeah.
From his girlfriend, Chloe Kim. And also congratulations to Chloe Kim on winning a silver medal at the Olympics.
Shout out to people's girlfriends. No, Houston.
Hey, she rules.
What else we got?
We need to talk about the Jerome Tang firing. Kansas State has fired their head men's basketball coach for cause, but it seems to be because they hate him. Buy or sell, Tang wins his for cause firing suit.
Yeah, I think he's going. Do we need to talk about there being a problem in Manhattan, Kansas? The Chris Kleiman stepping down thing seemed really, really weird. They definitely do not like Jerome Tang, despite him having a ton of respect from the student body. You remember they had that court storming situation 2 years ago, and he grabbed the microphone. He was able to stop an entire riot from happening in the gym because it seemed like that made the administration mad. You ever notice things just never seemed the same after that? I don't know. I don't think he should be fired with cause. I think he's going to win his suit because it seems like coaches always win this suit. But I mean, for God's sake.
Yeah, well, it's just such a.
You guys remember Pat Fitzgerald? He won that suit.
It's just such a weird. It's like a weird thing to fire him for, like as a university, because all he did in front of the media was probably take it a little bit too far, maybe, but he also like wasn't lying.
Yeah. And
when you lose to Cincinnati on the road and your comment is literally like, I don't think we should be allowed to get on a private plane to go back to Manhattan, Kansas tonight. We should have to take a bus. Like, kind of putting into perspective, like, it feels bad to lose. This is why.
Maybe my team is a little too pampered. Yeah, no, I agree. And he just seems like he's always seemed like a real. And listen, Jerome Tang's going to get a head basketball coach. He's going to be a head basketball coach next season. As soon as some other jobs open up, he's going to be employed. It just feels like for whatever reason, his ability to be an authoritarian has never set right with that community, which is really weird to me.
Which is funny because it's everyone outside of his players.
Yeah.
All backed him up. Like after the comments, there were a bunch of like student newspaper articles that came out that were like, every one of his players who have spoken to us off the record.
You want my thought?
Have been like, he didn't say anything that was untrue.
You want my thought? What if they weren't supposed to be using that private jet and it's supposed to be assigned somewhere else and he accidentally let that slip and it maybe made somebody above him a little bit upset? Kind of feels that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, it feels like.
Feels like everybody went, oh, you weren't supposed to let people know you were using that private jet.
To your opening point, though, Jimmy, I do think it might be time to start having the Kansas State conversation. Is it?
It feels weird,
the coaches,
man.
or is it the university?
It feels weird, man. What do we got, Noah?
Punches thrown. According to John Schreier, yes, they were, and it needs to be investigated. The judge, however, says no way, this is over and done. Buy or sell, this is not going anywhere.
Do you really need to get the judges involved with this? Like, I get why, but
it's like, it's so stupid because John Schreier, by the way, this is about now at this point,
3 days,
a week,
no, week,
like a week, like a week and a half after.
This is the 7th. Yeah. 10 days.
Yeah. He finally he was like, well, I should be getting ready for Syracuse right now and thinking about Syracuse, but all I can think about is the fact that this judge is screwing me over because one of my assistant coaches got hurt.
How do we not have video footage of this?
We do.
But like,
that's like the crazy thing is like the judge has literally been like, I've poured over a ton of video footage from the broadcast.
I've
from
seen
the cameras.
two, and I haven't seen a single punch thrown. And listen, is there a possibility with hands flailing, somebody cut an elbow or a stray that wasn't necessarily a punch but got hit in the face? Sure. And do they storm the court a ton in Durham, North Carolina? No, because you've been there a bunch, right?
Yeah.
If there's indisputable evidence that somebody reared back their fist and hit an assistant coach in the face, they should absolutely be in jail. But if we've had judges pour over footage from a basketball game to indict somebody where there, by the way, 17 different cameras on the court, couldn't find evidence of this, find it really hard to believe that this actually happened with malice, the way it's being.
Yes, with malice.
The way it's being stated.
Is the thing that kind of just makes me go nuts.
I think there's a very good and what was the assistant coach's name? I can't remember. I can't remember. Seth
either.
Trumbull, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can believe he got hit in the face. I believe it was probably by accident. We've seen idiots on courts and fields do dumb things. So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. But the fact that nobody has been able to turn up this evidence tells me that I think we're kind of talking about chasing a ghost here.
I think it's gonna peter out pretty quick.
Noah?
The final is set. It's a classic USA versus Canada matchup for the women's hockey gold. We have seen the gals do it once. Buy or sell, they can do it again.
This team, hammer and hold. This team is an absolute wagon. I think they're going to absolutely dominate Canada and run away with us.
Dominate?
Dominate.
I will not put that word on it. I do think USA all the way. The big change is the first time that the United States played Canada, Canada did not have Sarah Poland,
correct,
who is their captain, and many would argue, and few would dispute, that she is the heart of that Canadian team. And when they took on, I want to say it was Switzerland or Czechoslovakia in that next round, once they got her back, completely different team.
That would have, that'd have been. They played Italy. Oh, you're talking about Canada. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. But
I would tend to agree with you, Dan. The U.S. has outscored their opponents 31-1.
Yes, they have
in these Olympics,
and they just beat what was considered probably the third best team in the world.
I don't care if Canada's getting Wayne Gretzky added back to their team. Give me the American ladies.
Yeah, give me Haley Skamara. Give me Hillary Knight. Actually, really, just give me those two.
I was gonna say, do you need anybody else?
Give me those two and like one of those like fake like wooden goalies that you have in like a practice hockey net. I bet you we could beat Canada 3-2.
Noah, do we have any more questions? Or was that the last one?
That was the last one.
Do we have a random Dan question tonight?
We do not.
Okay, we'll move on to the next segment then. If you missed Buy or Sell tonight, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Controlled Comfort Heating and Air. Has the temperatures been messing with your thermostat? Have you noticed when you go to turn on your AC or your heat in the same day, it takes a little while for either one to click on? It's probably the thermostat, not your HVAC system. If you want to work with a company that's going to come out and diagnose the problem, not upsell you on any big expensive equipment, Controlled Comfort is the place for you. Get a comfort expert to come into your home, diagnose your problem, and get your AC or furnace back up and running today. Check out controlledcomfort.com for more details tonight. Bracketology. Who should be the number one team in the country? We tell you the other side of the break. 1620 Zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for Aloe Fiber. You listen to this show every night. I've been telling you for a while. I made the switch to Aloe 2 years ago when they started sponsoring this show, and I had no idea what to expect. We had this problem with our previous internet provider where we didn't get internet to our bedroom on the other side of the house because of sharing our streaming and our Wi-Fi, or not our Wi-Fi, but our internet connection with our neighbors. We had to split our bandwidth because we didn't have an all-fiber network straight up to our house. If you notice that you're starting to buffer a lot when your kids are on their tablets or maybe doing their homework, maybe your wife is streaming a show in the basement where you're trying to watch the game upstairs and you just keep lagging, that's probably because you don't have a fiber network up to your house. And if you don't have Aloe Fiber, I'd be surprised if you did. I got out of the Stone Age. We haven't seen a blue circle spinning on our TV in 2 years. If you want that level of service, that level of connection, and stop sharing your bandwidth with the people that live around you, head over to aloefiber.com/Husker Radio. Get out of the Stone Age tonight.
Weather from KETV Newswatch 7 is brought to you on 1620 The Zone by Certified Transmission.
Watching out for a shower or thunder shower this evening with very gusty winds, then clearing skies later tonight and a low temperature in the low 40s. Mostly sunny and still pretty warm Wednesday, a high in the mid-60s, and then a snow chance in the forecast for Thursday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV Newswatch 7.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot field house featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
Diet Coke Cherry is making a return, and Chesterman Coca-Cola is bringing the flavor back to Omaha. Find Diet Coke Cherry 12-packs right now at Hy-Vee, stacked high on pallet displays and end caps. Just in time for the big show. That crisp Diet Coke taste with a bold cherry twist. Perfect for game night, family night, or anytime you want something refreshing without the sugar. But don't wait. This is a Hy-Vee customer favorite, so get yours today.
My name's Stephen Butler, and I own Controlled Comfort. And we've been in business for 6 decades. And in those 6 decades, I like to think that everything we do is about the art of comfort. It's about the skill of our people, but it's also about the integrity, because at the end of the day, I value my employees, so they value you. And that's really all this is about. If you get cold this winter, think about us. We'll come help you out. We'll get you out of bind. It'll be fair, it'll be fast, and it'll be the right price.
Control Comfort keeps it under control.
If you're looking for an authentic Italian experience, look no further than Pasta Amore. For 4 decades, Pasta Amore has been keeping the spark alive for couples in the Omaha area with their homemade pasta, made fresh every day. Our hand-picked selection of exceptional wines will put the nightcap on your evening that you expect. Open every day at 4. Stop by Pasta Amore in Rockbrook Village and enjoy dining in a romantic dining room or relax on our shaded patio.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
Hey, Jays fans, it's hoop season, and you know what that means. Jerry Ryan has the best selection in town for all things Creighton gear. Stop by Jerry Ryan at 78th and Dodge for your quarter zips in all shades of Jays blue, plus jackets, vest, winter coats, you name it. They have it. Multiple Jays options for men and women from Peter Millar, Cutter and Buck, and Johnny O. Stop by Jerry Ryan Clothing and dress like the coaches do.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
This is the Chef of Love, Chef Jannard, TV host and restaurateur. My grandparents harvested their land to sell food and share this overflowing bounty with our community. Grandma said, for every yam we pick, we give one away. In the world they cultivated, I love preparing and eating dinner with my family on Sundays. When our resources changed, food assistance programs sustained us. They gave me fuel to start my first culinary business at 16 years old, and inspiration to donate the extra food in my community. Through my life, I've developed an appetite to work with others to ensure everyone has access to the nutritious food we need to thrive. Together, we can help end hunger. Come on, join the movement with Feeding America by volunteering, donating, and advocating. Learn more at feedingamerica.org/act now.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Short on cash? Get 2 weeks free this month. Furniture, appliances, electronics, or even tires today. And no credit is needed at Ace Rent to Own.
Ace Rent to Own, where we make friends.
Don't miss this week's Zone Deal.
This week's half-off deal is $50 in vouchers for only $25 to Timber Creek Pizza Pub and Grill. Timber Creek Pizza Pub and Grill serves pizza with an unforgettable sauce and fresh ingredients and unique combinations of bold flavors. Visit Timber Creek's family-friendly dining environment while enjoying a popular adult beverage. Timber Creek Pizza Pub and Grill, 178th and Harrison.
Zone deals go fast. 9 a.m. Friday, 1620thezone.com. You're listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
High drama in West Lafayette, folks. #1 Michigan hosting the Purdue Boilermakers tonight. Michigan leads 82-73. It is the After Hours Lounge. Jimmy Allen, Noah Houston, Dan Campanen with you here on a Taste Test Tuesday. Head over to our Twitter page, retweet the post of the show tonight. Follow us, retweet the Pasta Amore post. Let you know, drawing to win a $25 gift card to Pasta Amore tonight where they're celebrating Carnival. Get out and enjoy the Mardi Gras experience in Rockbrook Village tonight. Michigan currently leads Purdue 83-73 after what our good friend John Bishop would call a horse crap call that went against the Boilermakers. Purdue trying to make it interesting. Michigan led by as much as 21 at one point, and they're trying to close in and try to shock the world and upset #1 as the #7 team in the country is at home. Which brings us to our discussion about bracketology. We told you earlier in the show, Nebraska found themselves on the 4 line according to the 4-letter network tonight. But when you look at the rest of the top 10, we've kind of talked about this a little bit, Dan, in the last couple of weeks.
Yep.
That the rest of the top 10 have a little bit of a murderer's row to finish out the season. There's some really, really good, really high-level basketball down the stretch here it's going to involve multiple top 10 teams, obviously, as we just mentioned tonight, number 1 and number 7 taking on each other. But when you look at look at Iowa State's schedule, there's a possibility that Iowa State's going to lose 3 or 4 more games this season. ESPN's got Iowa State listed as a 2 seed. I think they lose on Saturday to BYU. They obviously had that win over Houston. I think that's going to play a role in it. I think there's going to be a little bit of a letdown there against a pretty good defensive team. They still have to play Texas Tech, who's the number 13 in the country. They still have to go to Arizona. And in my opinion, at best, that's 2 or 3 losses. You might be looking at all 4. And Michigan obviously has to go to Purdue tonight. They're in a dogfight in this one. This one's going to be really interesting going down the stretch as the Boilermakers at the free throw line down 9. But they still have to play Duke. They still have to go to Illinois. They still have to go to Iowa. And they get Michigan State at home. Michigan is overwhelmingly the number 1 seed in the country right now. They got 59 of the 61st place votes today. Or yesterday, excuse me.
60 out of the 61.
60 out of 61. That's what it was. I apologize. 60 out of 61.
Yeah, put some respect on the one guy who voted for Houston.
Yeah, after losing to Iowa State. What a choice. Anyway, this was going to be a much hotter take when Michigan was up by 20 points, and now that they're maybe going to pull away here at the end. But I find it hard to believe that Michigan is going to be the number 1 overall seed heading into the NCAA tournament with the way their schedule finishes out. Because there's a team that plays in Storrs, Connecticut, that has to play St. John's one more time. Say what you want about them playing Creighton on Saturday and Max Record against Dan Hurley, and I think it's worth visiting. You know, there's only 3. Dan, I found we got this note from Rob Anderson last night on the Roll Jays podcast. There's only 3 coaches in the country that have 8 wins over Dan Hurley with less than 20 attempts. 2 of them are on Creighton's staff.
Oh, really?
Greg McDermott is 8-5 against Dan Hurley all time. Derek Kellogg got 8 wins over Dan Hurley when he was at Rhode Island, and DK was at UMass. So how about that?
Oh, wow.
Shout out to Rob Anderson for that. As much as I'd love to take credit for that, that's a Rob Anderson special. But I really think that UConn has the best chance of running the table. They're listed as a 1 seed according to ESPN today. I think that Dan Hurley and UConn will be the 1 seed. When it comes to Selection Sunday, I anticipate them winning out and winning the Big East tournament. And I think that is going to be enough. Michigan's just got so much left on their schedule. I mean, the Big Ten is so good. And this is obviously a down year for the Big East. But the way Michigan's schedule rounds out, obviously, Purdue, Duke, Illinois, that rivalry game to end the season at Michigan State. Plus, you got to get through the Big East tournament or the Big Ten tournament. That's not going to factor in as much to their seeding. If they are to lose, it'll obviously help them if they're able to win it, solidify probably a number 1 seed. But I honestly think they could lose 2 of those last 5. That alone will probably knock them at least down to the 4th 1 seed, in my opinion. Because yes, they will only have 3 or 4 losses at that point. But when you lose matters to the committee for some reason. So I will be really intrigued to see if Michigan is the number 1 overall seed. I just think UConn's got the best chance to run the table. There's a possibility they are the best team too. I think that's also a conversation that could be had, but this kind of feels like the year that the Big Ten is going to steer the ship correctly. And maybe the athleticism in the Big Ten this year, I think, is better than in past seasons. And we've seen Big Ten teams with high expectations, and Michigan and Illinois are probably, and Nebraska and Purdue are probably going to be those teams that walk in with second weekend expectations from the Big Ten this year.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen the Big Ten have lack of athleticism. I don't think that's the case this year. You probably make that argument about last year. You've seen the Big Ten have sometime lack of size outside of the 5 position. I don't think that's the case this year. So if you've been just typically riding upsets in on the Big Ten lines in the first weekend, I think this might be the first year in a long time that's going to backfire. You know, this Michigan team is going to be good down the stretch, which isn't a hot take for the number 1 overall team. I just think that Big Ten teams historically over the last 5 to 10 years, probably 15, have been lacking athleticism in spots, specifically the guard position, that the 4 teams I just mentioned, you throw Michigan State into that equation, don't lack that elite level athleticism at the guard spot. I expect this to be the best turnout from a Big Ten perspective wholesale than we've seen probably since 2002.
Yeah, I was going to say this is probably one of the first years in a long time that sort of, no matter what, it seems like you could pencil in Michigan for at least 2 wins in March Madness. Purdue, depending upon who their matchup is.
Yeah, and again, that all matters too.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, but Nebraska and Illinois both play a style of basketball that looks, and I mean, to say it looks ugly is a little bit rude to the two of them.
Man, I agree about Illinois. I don't know if I agree with that about Nebraska. Their athleticism, I think, is different than the Illini.
Their athleticism is much different, but the style of basketball that Nebraska plays is regular season ugly and is tournament pretty, because they have the ability to swap in any number of guys at any point in time and say, all right, you have to go in there. You have to play the 3. Here's what we need you to do. Here's who we need you to guard. And it seems like every guy on their roster says, okay, that's fine with me. And the losing of Rink Mast in that Purdue game, I think, was a big kind of
absolutely
kick in the shins, but Nebraska has a lot of leg to it towards the end of the season. I'm sure we're going to see them remain at least within the top 10 before this year ends. But yeah, this is the first year in a long time that I'm not only penciling in Michigan State to go.
Yeah, Dan, you know me. I've
roster.
I've been all the way out on the Big Ten in the NCAA tournament the last 3 years. I am not feeling that way this season. Michigan is starting to pull away, so this is being a little less dramatic than it was when we first came on in this segment. We got one more segment to get to before we get to our closing arguments as well. If you missed it in the show up to this point, you can always catch it on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. You know what warmer temperatures means? It means that the wedding season is right around the corner. I got my wedding suit from Jerry Ryan. If you're looking to have your biggest day of your life coming up, and you want to look your best, there's no better place to do it than 78th and Dodge. Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear has been dressing groom and groomsmen for over 50 years. Head over to 78th and Dodge. Tell them that After Hours sent you. We'll be right back. 1620 Zone.
The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
Winter may slow pests down, but it's the perfect time to prepare your home for spring. Rodents, spiders, and other pests often show up indoors this time of year. A winter pest control checkup helps seal entry points now so you're not dealing with pests when warmer weather hits. At Recon Pest Services, we're proud to be a local company and supporting causes that make Omaha better. If you're looking for a pest control partner or even support for a cause, think Recon. Visit reconpestservices.com and get your home ready for a pest-free spring.
My name's Stephen Butler, and I own Controlled Comfort, and we've been in business for 6 decades, and in those 6 decades, I like to think that everything we do is about the art of comfort. It's about the skill of our people, but it's also about the integrity, because at the end of the day, I value my employees, so they value you, and that's really all this is about. If you get cold this winter, think about us. We'll come help you out. We'll get you out of bind. It'll be fair, it'll be fast, and it'll be the right price.
Control Comfort keeps it under control.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
Hey Jays fans, it's hoop season and you know what that means. Jerry Ryan has the best selection in town for all things Creighton gear. Stop by Jerry Ryan at 78th and Dodge for your quarter zips in all shades of Jays blue, plus jackets, vests, winter coats, you name it. They have it. Multiple Jays options for men and women from Peter Millar, Cutter and Buck, and Johnny O. Stop by Jerry Ryan Clothing and dress like the coaches do.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
Hi, I'm Alex Drake, your local mortgage expert from Lincoln Federal Savings Bank. I'm here to guide you with personalized service, low down payment options, quick approvals, and low rates and fees. Let's get you pre-qualified today so that you know what you can afford before you start shopping. Call me today at 402-493-5599 or visit LincolnFed.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Personal banking like you remember.
It's another new year and another exciting edition of the Nebraska Lottery's popular Cash Blast promotion. You know how it works. Until March 24th, buy a 2x2 ticket and get a voucher. Enter online for a chance to win a $5,000 or $500 weekly prize. And if your winning voucher is from a 7-day draw ticket, your prize is doubled. So start out your 2026 with a bang. Enter the Cash Blast promotion today. 2x2 top prize odds are 1 in 105,000.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
$7:42 on a Taste Test Tuesday here at 1620 The Zone. I'm Jimmy Allen. DJ Noah Houston on the ones and twos. Dan Campion with us tonight. As well, we are brought to you by Bellevue University. If you want to keep up to date on all the championship action happening on Bellevue's campus, head over to the BU Bruins app and download it on your smartphone. Tonight, there's been an announcement from the Trojan horse himself. You know what I'm talking about, Dan?
Mike.
Lincoln Riley has announced Mike Eckler as the official special teams coordinator and linebackers coach at USC. Now, we spent a lot of time over the last couple of weeks breaking down the Moose book. This is the only way I'm going to refer to it going forward. The book of the
Fair.
Moose.
That's perfectly fine.
The book of Moose. Is that what it should be? And everything that was said about the lack of leadership or interminglings of people above the athletic director / head coach and the involvements at the University of Nebraska in their football program. And I think everybody that read into that is always as there's probably everybody out there can relate to a workplace environment that has had bad leadership or people that were probably putting the hand into a pot that they didn't belong in and can relate. I clearly Mike Eckler earned his keep last year in Lincoln as the special teams coordinator. He fixed it like that, right? My question is, though, does Mike Eckler have a commitment problem?
So I wonder, because, the rumor.
An innuendo.
Of course, around that whole point in time when it was, will he stay or will he go? What's going on? We heard he was up for this USC job. We heard that it was fairly credible at the time. And the rumor going around was, well, he also wants to be a position coach.
Correct.
Because it's the next step in his career. And he now gets that at USC. So is it a moving around problem, or is it a he knows what he wants and he's not afraid to get it problem?
You know what I find really interesting? I find it really interesting how vocal Will Compton was about bringing Mike Ekeler to Nebraska, how vocal Mike Ekeler was about Will Compton playing a role in him coming to Nebraska.
Yeah.
The fact that Bustin' and the Boys has had zero comments about this situation seems really interesting, right? Doesn't it kind of seem like somebody that may have stuck up for somebody that it didn't pan out for? It could not be the case. That's just kind of how it reads from the outside in.
It does feel like that right now. It's a little bit strange that we haven't heard anything from Will Compton yet, but I'm sure.
I think it's
when that episode drops on Thursday.
I think it's really important to point out for anybody out there that is upset with the coaching staff or upset with Matt Rule about Mike Ekeler leaving. I think you have a right to be. I'm not going to fault you for that. As Michigan, by the way, knocks off Purdue by 11. That's the 21st time this season Michigan has won by 10 or more points. How about that? But I think it's important to point out that Mike Ekeler once left Nebraska to take the exact same position at Indiana when they were a bottom feeder in the Big Ten. Mike Ekeler just left Tennessee to come pursue the exact same position in Lincoln. There was never a promise to Mike Ekeler to coach the linebackers when he got here. It was strictly to be the special teams coordinator.
Yep.
I kind of wonder if Mike Ekeler, in Mike Ekeler's own mind, had higher expectations for himself that were set. Now, did he earn the right to throw his hat into the linebacker coaching position ring? I don't think that's debatable. But I just kind of wonder how much was made in Mike Ekeler's own mind about what his expectations should be, which other than what actually happened. Now, listen, that's a great goal to have. Like, have goals, and if you can't achieve them or somebody above you is preventing you from achieving those, yeah, you probably should pull the ripcord and get out. I agree with that sentiment. I'm never going to fault somebody for going somewhere else. I just don't know I don't know how much I'm at the point of blaming Matt Rule or putting blame on somebody on the coaching staff or in the athletic department about Mike Ekeler leaving, because this just kind of seems to be what Mike Ekeler does. Is that fair?
I think so, but I also think it's a bit of a short track record. With his time at Tennessee being fairly short, and then now just the single-year stint in Lincoln once again.
Right, but I think that's more to my point, is it just kind of seems to be like he doesn't seem long for wherever he ends up at.
Well, it's...
Dude just kind of job hops.
Yeah, well,
that's just who he is.
It's hard. I mean, who thought that I'd be the one defending Mike Ekeler in this segment? But I think that's what all of these guys are looking for, because there are some guys, a la Noah's boy, Steve Spagnuolo,
but yeah, go ahead.
Whatever. Spagnuolo, who wanted to be a head coach, tried to be a head coach, did not do well as a head coach, and said, you know what? I'm really good at being a defensive coordinator. What if I have three Super Bowl rings as a defensive coordinator? Wouldn't that be something? I'm just going to be a defensive coordinator. And there are other guys who want to move up in the ranks, like a Todd Monken, where it's, I want to be a head coach, so I know what steps I have to take to be a head coach. I wonder if that's where Mike Ekeler is starting to realize that his career needs to go to.
Sure, it's not, and he's not getting any younger. That's fair. Hey, if you missed it in the show tonight, want to relive it, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. Tonight, this segment was brought to you by our friends at Pasta Amore. It is a Taste Test Tuesday. Head over to our Twitter page, follow us, like our page, retweet, or post our Facebook post of Pasta Amore. Tonight, we're going to enter into a drawing to win a $25 gift card to the best date night experience in Omaha. It's Pasta Amore in Rockbrook Village. Closing arguments when we come back on 1620 The Zone.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot field house featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
If your brand isn't generating you business, well, it's losing. That's where Sign Ovation steps in. We help Omaha businesses win the visibility game with bold storefront signs and vehicle decals that turn your ride into a rolling billboard. Your brand should be working, even when you're not. Driving impressions, creating leads, and bringing customers through the door. Stop riding the bench. Put your brand in the game. Visit OmahaSignsAndWraps.com tonight. That's OmahaSignsAndWraps.com. Sign Ovation. where brands show up and win.
Winter may slow pests down, but it's the perfect time to prepare your home for spring. Rodents, spiders, and other pests often show up indoors this time of year. A winter pest control checkup helps seal entry points now so you're not dealing with pests when warmer weather hits. At Recon Pest Services, we're proud to be a local company and supporting causes that make Omaha better. If you're looking for a pest control partner or even support for a cause, think Recon. Visit reconpestservices.com and get your home ready for a pest-free spring.
Are you dreaming of your business dominating local Google searches, drawing in customers effortlessly? Look no further. I'm Courtney, the Google gal from Pixel Fire Marketing. Need assistance with your Google business profile? From verification to getting more reviews, fixing maps to tackling annoying Google calls? I've got you covered. Your profile sets you apart and ensures you're the top choice for local customers. Visit fixmygbp.com for our $297 special offer. Visit fixmygbp.com for more details.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
Winter's here. Titanium HVAC makes sure your furnace is running at its best. Our experts prevent breakdowns, boost efficiency, and ensure safety. Schedule your tune-up now at titaniumomaha.com. Titanium HVAC, a Carrier dealer.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to A to Z Savings, our biggest sale of the year.
Happy to be here. Can I get some rotors?
Would you like brake pads with that?
How much are the brake pads?
Free with Duralast rotors.
Free. Really?
Really? Free.
I also need some oil.
Would you like an oil filter with that?
Yeah. How much is that?
Free with the oil.
Free. Really?
Really free. It's part of A to Z Savings with hundreds of deals.
From A to free.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Ends March 9th. Restrictions apply.
I'm Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. We know your time matters, so when you call us, we answer on the very first ring. That's our promise to you. We value your business and will treat you like a friend and neighbor because more than likely you are one. While other banks hide behind technology, we combine the best of both. Top-notch digital banking and online banking with people who care. Got a question or need help? We're just one ring away. At Equitable Bank, we take banking personally because you deserve it. Member FDIC.
You are listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
Closing her down on a Taste Test Tuesday here on 1620 The Zone. I'm Jimmy Allen. That's Noah Houston and Dan Campenden. It's time for our closing arguments, courtesy of Bob Williams of Williams Law. What we'll do here is all three of us will give you a hot take. We'll post a poll on Twitter. We'll tell you, you'll vote whoever had the best closing argument. Whoever had the fewest votes will have the worst closing argument of the night. Dan, you want to start us off?
Yes. America has been robbed. The Olympics are the time of year that remind me there are a lot of other sports that I can get very into if I put my mind into it. And thank gosh that they do this right after football season ends, because the American team of chalk and baits in ice dancing was robbed by Laurence Fournier-Baudry and Guillaume Cizeron. It has been proven that a French judge
say it isn't so.
Gave the French pair 6.45 points higher than the mean, and she undervalued Chalk and Bates' routine by 7.19 points. So that was a 13.64 point delta favoring France. You might remember 2 weeks ago, before the Olympics even started, we had the debate on this show. I think it was off air
Usually is.
With Mr. Schreiner saying, I don't like the sports that are based upon a judge's score.
That was definitely off air, by the way.
Yes, it was. And I said, no, not all sports that are based on a judge's score are rigged and are bad. This is bad. This is terrible. This makes me feel bad.
A French judge? Can we talk about that for a second?
Because it was a French team. Also, if you want a little bit of entertainment, look up French ice dancing team and find out why these two people are skating together for the first time this year. Yeah, you'll really enjoy that read. And you'll also say, yeah, Chuck and Bates, the lovely couple who are married and have been ice dancing together for 15 years, deserve that gold medal.
Noah, what's your best take?
So number 1, Michigan, number 7, Purdue played earlier. And I'm just wondering, why are they showing it on Peacock?
That's a great question, Noah. Like,
it's a good take.
I get you got to try to promote your streaming service, and UCLA and Michigan State is on Peacock right now. That kind of feels like a game that should be on Peacock.
Yeah.
A top 10 matchup should never be on a streaming service. I love that take. I'm going to take my opportunity tonight to promote an event that I will be attending coming up. Our friends that have been on this show before, the Sammy Strong Foundation, is doing their polar plunge, and I'm going to use this as a cheap opportunity to get a cheap plug for myself. I will be jumping into a dumpster full of ice cold water for a good cause. If you'd like to make a donation to my cause, please get a hold of me in my DMs. There are different partner plunge opportunities as well. You don't have to jump in, but you can donate to a great cause. For anyone that doesn't know what the Sammy Strong Foundation is, it is a foundation that donates to parents that have children that are battling pediatric brain cancer. So if you want to donate to a good cause, free shout out to my good friend Mark Fredericks, who owns Redbox Plus Dumpsters as well, who's helping put this on at Liberty Federal Credit Union at the Omaha Beef Game. So if you want to donate to a good cause and want to watch me in my underwear jump into cold water, you can do that at the Sammy Strong Polar Plunge that is coming up in March. Check out SammyStrong.com for more details on how you can donate to their cause as well. You can always donate to our cause by listening to our show anytime on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. Our closing arguments are always brought to you by Bob Williams with Williams Law. Criminal, civil, personal. Bob and his team will sit you down and give you a free, no obligation legal consultation. Explain your rights, get you ready for your big day in court, and make sure that you're prepared for your day in front of the judge. Head over to WilliamsLawLLC.com tonight. For Noah Houston, Dan Campen, and I've been Jimmy Allen. Thanks for listening. Enjoy National Cauliflower Day, everybody.
Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait. Make a lasting impact today.
If your brand isn't generating you business, well, it's losing. That's where Sign Ovation steps in. We help Omaha businesses win the visibility game with bold storefront signs and vehicle decals that turn your ride into a rolling billboard. Your brand should be working, even when you're not. Driving impressions, creating leads, and bringing customers through the door. Stop riding the bench. Put your brand in the game. Visit OmahaSignsAndWraps.com tonight. That's OmahaSignsAndWraps.com. Sign Ovation, where brands show up and win.
At Timber, they don't just give you a place to go for lunch or dinner. They give you an experience from their bold, smoky flavors prepared in the open concept kitchen where you get to watch the magic happen to the relaxing umbrella-shaded patio. There's something for everyone at Timber. Join them for brunch every Saturday and Sunday from 9:30 to 2, plus happy hour from 2 to 5:30 Monday through Saturday, and 2 to close on Sunday. Timberwood Fire Bistro in the heart of Omaha at 84th and Pacific.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
AX Plumbing has the cold weather deals. So if your hot water isn't so hot anymore, you can't afford to pass up on these deals. Tankless water heaters are $450 off. Traditional water heaters are $200 off. And for those real hard water problems, water softeners are $300 off. Stop by AXP Service tonight and fix your water heater before it gets too cold outside. AX Plumbing. We'll leave your home or your business cleaner than we found it.
It's a new year and a new savings opportunity with lower prices at Superior Honda of Omaha. Hundreds of new Hondas to choose from. Stop by the dealership at 4111 South 144th Street or see all the bargains online at hondaofomaha.com.
Short on cash? Get 2 weeks free this month. Furniture, appliances, electronics, or even tires today. And no credit is needed at Ace Rent to Own.
Ace Rent to Own, where we make friends. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to A to Z Savings, our biggest sale of the year.
Happy to be here. Can I get some rotors?
Would you like brake pads with that?
How much are the brake pads?
Free with Duralast rotors.
Free. Really?
Really? Free.
I also need some oil.
Would you like an oil filter with that?
Yeah. How much is that?
Free with the oil.
Free. Really?
Really? Free. It's part of A to Z Savings with hundreds of deals.
From A to free.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Ends March 9th. Restrictions apply.
KOZ and Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone.